our pleasure to celebrate today the centenary of Lotfi Zadeh's birth. On behalf of the IEEE Computational Intelligence Society
and the International Fuzzy System Association,
we are pleased to give voice to a number of his old friends to remind us what a scientist and what a man he was. They will also tell us about some of the moments spent with him.
I've always enjoyed my personal interactions with Lotfi. Lotfi was a very, very special human being. He had an ability for dealing with people in a very, very real way. And he modeled, not only did he model how people thought, but he was concerned about people. And this is what Lotfi is very interesting. He was interested in people. He has a long, long record of dealing with people.
I mean, he just really had a presence that he sort of, reach out and touched, people. I mean, whether it was a student or, one of the big guns of the community, he just really had that way about him.
How to connect with people, how to be kind to them, how to respect them in all moments of their scientific activities.
He always was talking, good things about everybody. No, there was no bad thing. He always was looking for the good things, always about everybody. And that was also very, very nice. And I think the most important thing that I remember from Lotfi is his humanity.
The scientific world will remember that he was an inventor and a visionary in automated systems and artificial intelligence.
Professor Lotfi Zadeh was very famous before Fuzzy, first of all. He was one of the most famous scientists at that time, in the 60s, 50s and 60s. And basically, this is extremely relevant because, if we don't understand this fact, we will not be able to understand why fuzzy sets would develop so rapidly and so vastly in the future.
He was an extraordinary activator of theoretical ideas, as well as the instigator of real-world applications.
We could see what Lotfi did by providing a very, very important tool for modeling how human beings think. He provided a tool which enabled one to model the soft ideas of a human being using fuzzy sets.
Back in the mid-1990s, he called me up and said that I should foster this idea of that he was calling recognition technology, which is the confluence of advances in sensor technology, image and signal processing, and soft computing for decision-making that would make a quantum leap in recognition systems. The fact that he predicted this real coming together of these technologies back in the mid-1990s were pretty special. And I felt special because he called me up and talked to me about it.
He introduced many concepts, and the ideas sometimes came to him in unusual places.
In this evening, the conversation went on general topics. At one point, Lotfi revealed that when he was at home, his favorite place to work was the kitchen table. Joe smiled slightly, as Faye strongly disagreed on this inappropriate use of the table. Suddenly, I thought of my desk in my home study, so full of books, papers, and also other things that always I felt compelled to look for other places to write and work when at home. I was thrilled that Lotfi and I had the same idiosyncrasy and immediately set out a rule. When you are at home, never work at your writing desk. An apparently unsuitable context, I thought, may perhaps suggest unusual ideas.
He was also the ambassador of the theory he founded, winning acceptance even from scientists reluctant to his new vision, and he was internationally recognized.
Yeah, so Lotfi has a great sense of humor and was always telling jokes. And but he was very determined in his opinions, very hard to challenge, and always ready to defend his opinions. And sometimes we met him and we complained that people outside the fuzzy camp would attack us very much. And he always replied us, be thick-skinned. If somebody criticizes your ideas, take it as a compliment.
He was always ready to support workshops, conferences, journals, and other means of communications within the fuzzy community and with other scientific communities. The number of prestigious awards he received is impressive. They were at the industrial level, in particular with the Honda Prize he received in 1989, the prize of the Okawa Foundation for Information and Telecommunications in 1996, the Silicon Valley Engineering Hall of Fame in 2006, or the BBVA Foundation Frontiers of Knowledge Award in 2012. He also received doctorates honoris causa from 24 universities in the world, and he was a member of 6 foreign academies. He always promoted communications with other communities, and he received awards from several of them, such as the International Foundation for Artificial Intelligence, the American Society of Mechanical Engineers, the Association for Intelligence Machinery, and of course, several prestigious IEEE medals were bestowed to him. All his friends remember his enduring personality, his capacity to listen to you and provide advice.
So I wrote my first ever technical report. It's an almost publication. I sent it to Lotfi as a small student to the famous professor, and I was not sure if he would ever reply. It was a great surprise and a real pleasure when a big bunch of reports or memos, as they were called, published at the University of California, came in a thick envelope, and he wrote me a very kind and very encouraging letter telling me, you should go on, it's very good, this is good direction for the research, whatever. So I was very happy that despite I was debating with him in some respect, he was encouraging.
One of the most famous sayings of Lotfi, whatever they say, take it as a compliment. You know, this has somehow, let's say, shaped my attitude in life and my, let's say, professional life. I think that this is very relevant.
After the panel discussion, Lotfi came to me and congratulated me. He said, now McLean takes you seriously. Now the people know your name and take the criticism as a compliment. I'll never forget this reaction and his very encouraging words.
I was in that time a young beginner in science, and currently in that time I was working in a company, and I was also writing the first book. I remember that I was very nervous and shy to address him, but he finally noticed me and he addressed me. So we began to discuss, and he was very friendly with me, and I showed him the first 50 pages of my manuscript. We discussed it, and he helped me to improve the book, not only in these 50 pages, but in all pages which then followed, which were not in that time still written. So we were really good friends, I think, since then. And we met, I don't know, maybe 20 times in various conferences all over the world.
Lotfi Zadeh was always available to travel all around the world to explain his seminal ideas and support the work of others in the field.
Another remarkable feature of Lotfi was also his mastering of many foreign languages, including French. Remember how he showed us his capability to speak French.
He was the leader and the mentor of a community.
When I think to Lotfi Zadeh, what comes to my mind is not only his visionary approach to science, as well as his fundamental contributions. Also, I have the image of a humble and intellectually curious person. The image of a scientist who was really interested to listen other people, to listen young researchers who were trying to experience novel ideas.
He was very charming. So all the students were very enthusiastic about meeting him.
As Bernadette has said, Lotfi was a very influential and yet at the same time a very humble person. We can say that for many of us, he was like a teacher.
Then we can say that he showed us how to be courage in ideas, how to push forward the frontiers of science, how to defend your point of view in discussions, and how to be positive to people in your life philosophy. I can say that in this respect, Lotfi Zadeh was my teacher, not only in the science, but also in my personal life.
To Lotfi Zadeh, father of fuzzy sets and systems, first in scholarship, first in kindness, and first in the hearts of his colleagues.
We miss him very much and think that the best way to memorize him is to carry out the research and applications on physiology.
But he was also a very simple man, preferring a soup or an omelette to a gastronomic meal.
In my view, Professor Zadeh was an ordinary person with many extraordinary qualities.
And he was always, even then, he was very friendly and very, how can I say, human in the sense that he never behaved like some superior person or something like that.
He did not behave like an intellectual, like a smart guy that's, it just was just telling me histories, very nice, smooth. We went together to an IFSA meeting during the night, and the restaurant was chosen by my fellow, Sandra. It's a kind of food that the people, very original food, it's called comida from Minas Gerais state. It's a kind of very good, very nice, but it's a kind of heavy, kind of, for professionals. And Lotfi did it very well. Did very well. Ate everything, very, heavy. Food, having in a sense a lot of meat, a lot of greasy stuff, lots of beans, black beans, rice, and sausages and meats, every type of.
Tonight we will go to have Chinese dinner. And I told him, oh yes, Lotfi, I know, we have been many times to your favorite Chinese restaurant. And he said, no, this time we will go to a good Chinese restaurant. And he indeed took us to an excellent place with excellent Chinese food.
He loved music, and his home was full of an incredible number of loudspeakers. He would turn one off and ask you if you hear the difference. He also loved to take photos of people he met, and he had boxes and boxes of them at home and in his office. of us, my research and my scientific life have certainly been shaped by Lotfi Zadeh's constant inventions, the attention he was paying to my work, and his coaching.
He was an extraordinary person. He was tenacious, inquisitive, illuminating, but he was always gentle and cordial. When he was part of your audience, you should, not could, always expect some deep, thoughtful queries, regardless of the amount of his apparent attention to your talk. He was never afraid of making critical comments, but never failed to encourage you. So he was not just my mentor or the mentor of my fellow grad students. He was a mentor of everybody who was listening to him. And he has been a role model for my entire professional life. Taught me to be generous with sharing ideas, courteous with critics, humble with friends, and passionate with the pursuit of science. So, dear Lotfi, you may be gone, but you're still here.
He was a person who pulled us all together and showed us how to protect and defend our ideas and opinions, even up to the level that it looked like we were stubborn. And it is important that we stay like that we build a strong fuzzy community and create legacy for Lotfi as well as for ourselves. It is also one of the reasons why we have wanted to create such an event. The fact that so many of us had a chance to talk or to see Lotfi at many conferences he attended had triggered a need to celebrate the anniversary of his birthday and put together a collection of statements and memories which we have of him. Yet very soon we realized that this task was not an easy one. It was very difficult to decide whom to ask for contribution and what to ask for. Also, a very unusual circumstances which we live right now created yet another level of difficulties and prevented us from reaching to all of you. We wish we could ask everyone in the community for a short contribution, but as you can imagine, this is not possible. Eventually, we have collected some memories of individuals who knew Lotfi for some time. You have seen snippets of these testimonies. They were just teasers, 2 or 3 minute videos, video clips with the full statements are available on the website. At that point, we would like to thank all of you and all of them for the contributions, time and effort they spent to provide us with these video clips. Thank you a lot. Also, we would like to continue collecting memories regarding Lotfi's life and his contributions to your professional and personal lives. To give opportunity to anyone who knew Lotfi and whom Lotfi influenced and inspired, to provide his or her testimony and pay tribute to Lotfi, we are very pleased to announce an opening on the conversation site, Collabratech, IEEE Collabratech. There you can upload your pictures with Lotfi as well as your statements. Now we would like to ask Guy and Rudy to join us. Bernadette and myself would like to say big thank you to both of them. Rudy Sizing as a historian of our fuzzy community, and Guy de Souza as a chair of IEEE Computational Intelligence Society History Committee. They were essential in the preparation of this event. Thank you very, very much for all the time and effort and arrangement, everything, and pictures and movies and all the things which you help us with. Thank you very, very much. And now I'm very glad and pleased to raise our glasses to Lotfi Zadeh.
To Lotfi.
To Lotfi.